Alright boys, quick, concise, no BS. We're going to be going over the Leeway mechanic in this video. I will tell you exactly what the Leeway mechanic is if you're wondering what the hell it is. I will tell you, do not worry about that. We're going to give a demonstration on it as well with my main man Leeway here, aptly named. And then I will tell you and give you my thoughts on whether or not I think it should be changed, how it's going to change the meta, etc, 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 etc. Alright, so Leeway, what is Leeway? Well, if two players are in PvP combat and both players are moving, what will happen is the game will give you extra range on your melee attacks and your melee abilities. I will demonstrate that right now. I'll go into base melee range, which is going to be about here. Let's move back a little bit just to make sure. Yeah, I was in perfect melee range. There we go. So I'm slicing away at my main man Leeway here. This is the base melee range on an orc. It will be increased on tour, and I will show that later. Now, if I move backwards, I cannot attack my friend here. It's impossible to attack my friend, right? I'm outside of melee range, yes? That's how... I'm not going to say that's how it should be, but this isn't melee range. However, if I start moving, I start strafing here, the game thinks I'm moving, and it activates the Leeway mechanic. Of course, I am moving. So as you can see, I am now slicing from across the equator. I can, of course, use my Raptor Strike as well. That is absolutely fine. There you go. So here is my max range now with the Leeway. It's going to be about at this plant here. This end plant here. This is your new range. I don't know what I'd say that is. Probably about 8 yards, maybe just over 8 yards. Alright, so we're on the Tauren right now, swapped over, and we're going to show them base melee range on the Tauren. It's going to be around about here, which is between these two plants, so just underneath where I was on the Orc. Of course, this has been confirmed by Blizzard as, you know, ironically, quote-unquote, Blizz-like. To have Taurens with a bigger hitbox, that's completely fine. Bigger melee range, you've got an extra couple yards there, whatever, right? But now, the crazy thing here is, if I start to move backwards a little bit, my Leeway should activate from around about here. As you can see, I am hitting from literally the other side of the world. I can even Raptor Strike, and there you go, boom. This is your new melee range, as a Tauren if both players are moving. So if you're chasing after someone on a Tauren warrior or Tauren whatever the hell it is, as long as it's melee and some other guy's trying to escape, some poor priest over is trying to run away from you, you are not getting away, mate. You are going to be visiting that graveyard pretty soon if I'm slicing you from over here. Like, this is insane, okay? Now, my War Stomp range is 8 yards. 8 yards. If you guys have played World of Warcraft for a long period of time, you know that this is probably not 8 yards. We're going to show you right now that it is definitely not 8 yards. So you're literally hitting with your ACOG scope Tauren weapon from, I don't know what that is, 10 yards, 11 yards? But to be honest, I think we also have to look into the past as well. Like, Blizzard have historically made concessions to accommodate for new technology in other areas, you know, like the ability to house more than 2,500 people on one server. That's not going to be a server cap anymore. That was a technological limitation back in the day. So this is pretty much an outdated mechanic in my opinion. You know, we're not all lining up with our Microsoft ball mice waiting to connect via dial-up. This is essentially emulating server lag, which we don't need to do anymore. But I should clarify though, right? While no changes is a fantastic notion, failing to adapt the game to modern technologies will actually deliver a vastly different vanilla experience than what I think you guys are expecting or hoping for. Like, mechanics such as Leeway that were put in place to provide a smoother gameplay experience with the less stable internet connections of the time will nowadays just serve as a mechanic that waters down the skill cap. I mean, back in the day, you had people on, I think it's ASDL, ADSL connections, which were like 0.5 megabyte download. It was insane. But I mean, I'm in Ratchet, stuck to the ground right now. We're not on Mass Effect sitting on the moon with a sniper rifle. So from a balance perspective, this completely nerfs anything that isn't melee and just waters down any sort of like frame perfect positioning based gameplay. And I do think it should be tuned because this is just way too strong in my opinion. And it's, I mean, look at this. This is completely outside the 8-yard range. This is insane. But, you know, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think it should be changed. Let me know if you think it's completely fine. Let me know if you think we should adapt, you know, whatever it is. Of course, all we can is just shoot opinions and see what happens. So yeah, just for reference, we've jumped on the nice testicle race, which is a universal hitbox, of course, shared with all the other races that aren't Tauren, which I explained earlier. I think I explained it earlier anyway, but here we go. This is max melee range on the gnome. If I move back a little bit now to about here, which is where the orc Leeway started activating, I can start slicing away from here. A bit closer, actually. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think.